I am currently level 199 in Tower Defense Simulator, one away from level 200, an extremely high benchmark I've been working towards for over 2.5 years of playing, where I am now only about 500 experience away. So for game 1 I joined a random server using matchmaking, getting a 4-player game on the Crystal Cave map, choosing Fallen mode. One of my teammates placed Gold Scouts to defend early, while I farmed for money before placing a Gladiator. I ended up changing loadouts, but this first one was pretty solid, featuring Sledger for freezing, Commander for support, and the high DPS accelerator. With the whole team farming, we had lacking defense and took some early damage. I placed a Sledger in wave 19 and upgraded it to max level 3 waves later. We wanted to easily kill the glitches and mysteries, and thanks to some accelerators, also managed to kill the tank on wave 30. I witnessed some somewhat rare skins in the Valentine's 2020 Medic and Ranger, while I continuously placed and upgraded my Valentine's 2022 accelerator. Finally, we reached wave 40, where I sold my farms and placed the last of my towers. We had a huge amount of top tier units, and the Fallen King only reached the second bend of the path before dying, getting me my first win and putting me around 1/5 the way towards the next level. Following this, I decided to switch my loadout, focusing on Pursuit. A helicopter tower unlocked by reaching level 100, along with Gold Scout, DJ, and Toxic Gunner to support. Going into a game on Mystical Mountain, I encountered a glitch which prevented me from placing towers, forcing me to utilize TDS's rejoining feature. When I got back in the round, I could place towers, however 9 waves had also passed, giving me a bit of a late start. Nevertheless, I placed Pursuit quickly, and by upgrading it to level 2, it gained rocket launchers and helped us kill the boss. But with our only hidden detection being 3 Gold Scouts, we ended up leaking some Shadow Zombies. But disregarding that, I continued to farm, pretty much letting my teammates do the majority of the defending. Toxic Gunner nerfed zombies by slowing them down, so I placed an upgrade around wave 21. For the rest of the game, I continued to spam Pursuits. Their wide rotational range proved to be helpful in conserving space, and with the help of my team's accelerators and medics, we reached wave 40 with relatively little trouble, allowing us to overpower the Fallen King, albeit somewhat further along the path. This put me about 300 experience from level 200. For the next round, I decided to use a fully randomized team, where by generating random numbers relating to the towers, I ended up with this loadout, which was not very good, lacking farm for economy or any real support. I once again used matchmaking to join a 4-player match on Cyber City. I decided to place an Executioner early, as the event tower's bouncing axe ability is decent for crowd control. However, excluding Pursuit, my other towers were mostly mid. My teammates placed DJ, Gold Minigunners, Sledger, and Golden Pyro, which helped to carry me throughout the early game. It was hard for me to place or upgrade towers without any money, so I just saved for Executioner upgrades and then placed a Pursuit. The tank on wave 30 died pretty handily, with the Sledger freezing it and the newly placed accelerators melting it. I then maxed my Pursuit and Executioner, where I then decided to place my other towers. I put an Ace Pilot far from the path, so its rotation aligned with the turns, and I then placed a Cowboy near the front of the path, getting both the towers to level 5. Finally, I did decide to place a Paintballer, which didn't exactly do a lot. My teammates all maxed their accelerators, and I focused on placing Pursuits as we reached the last wave. This was overall the strongest run yet, and we easily killed the Fallen King, even as used his blocking ability. After winning the game, I was rickrolled in the text chat of the lobby, but more importantly, I was now very close to level 200. However, this 4th game was not exactly up to the standards of the previous runs. I brought a loadout featuring all of my golden towers, but ended up in a duo game with a level 2 player, where we picked multi-mode. Unfortunately, my teammate only had the 2 beginner towers, which were not very helpful. Nico placed some scouts, while I skipped a few waves to get a golden pyromancer, which was apt for handling the early game. On wave 8, I then placed a golden crook boss while my teammate continued to upgrade his scouts. The first warning sign showed in wave 22, as at this point I had placed a golden minigunner, but we still struggled to kill the slow boss. While the golden towers were very strong, I couldn't get money fast enough to upgrade them. Because it was multi-mode, a speedy boss rather than a tank spawned in wave 30, and with a maxed crook boss and 2 upgraded minigunners, we did end it. However, a set of slow bosses the next wave got very far along the path, with the last one barely dying within range of the towers, and 2 waves later a speedy boss reached the back end of the map, where only thanks to the crook boss's bodyguards did we kill it. But I could tell the end was near, and at wave 35 a flood of zombies had too much health, with a speedy boss ending the run, although I did at least gain 81 experience, putting me only 1 win away from level 200. For the 5th game, I brought 3 of the level exclusive towers, and Crook Boss, Turret, and Mortar, along with the Farm and DJ. Me and another teammate both placed Golden Crook Bosses for early game defense, while the others farmed heavily, and after upgrading those 2 Crook Bosses, I focused only on my farming. However, a major problem arose on wave 17, as one of my teammates placed a minigunner and then left the game, turning it into a trio Fallen game. We did at least gain a large number of Crook Boss bodyguards, but the lack of a 4th player made the difficulty that much higher. After farming for a while, I placed and maxed my turrets one by one. I also fully upgraded the 2 earlier Crook Bosses, and just for fun placed 1 level 5 mortar, even though it is not very good. But for the last time, the Fallen King spawned, and we killed him. It was a bit dicey, as I did have to move some of my towers for better range, but we still successfully triumphed, and I officially earned enough experience to finally hit level 200, where the reward for doing so is nothing. So please consider subscribing. These videos take a while to make, and if you already regularly watch them, subscribing helps me a lot. Anyways, bye.